Time ago in a busy city of Lagos, Nigeria, on May 9, 1936, a baby born was born. His parents' name is Ernest Adegunle Oladeinde Shonekan. From the very first day, little Ernest was calm, quiet, and full of light. His father, Chief Shonekan, was a hardworking man who believed in education and honesty. His mother was a caring woman who always told Ernest, "My son, no matter how far you go in life, never forget where you came from." Young Ernest grew up in a big city full of dreams and struggles. He was not from a poor home, but he was taught to respect everyone, rich or poor. When other children were running in the field playing football, Ernest loved to read books and listening to stories from his parents. He often asked questions like, why do some people suffer? How can Nigeria become great again? His teacher loved him because he was quiet, respectful, and very smart. Ernest went to CMS Grammar School in Lagos, one of the oldest schools in Nigeria. He was always top of his class, even though life was not always easy. Ernest never gave up. He once said to his classmates, "If we learn, we can change the world." That statement will one day come true in a way he never expected. After finishing secondary school, Ernest went to the University of London, where he studied law and business. He traveled far from home, missing his family and the taste of Nigeria food. But his heart was full of dream of returning to Nigeria to help people. When Ernest came back to Nigeria, he was ready to work. He joined the famous company United Africa Company (UAC). At first, he was just a young lawyer, quiet and serious, but his honesty, hard work and intelligence made him stand out. He didn't cheat, he didn't shout, he just worked with focus and truth. Year after year, Ernest grew in the company. People began to call him the gentle boss. Why? Because he led with kindness. In the 1980s, something great happened. Ernest Shonekan became the chairman and managing director of UAC Nigeria, one of the biggest companies in Africa. He was not a soldier, not a politician, but a peaceful businessman who lived in fairness. He helped many people get jobs, showing young Nigeria and was respected by both rich and poor. He once said in a meeting, "A true leader is not the loudest voice, but the one with the cleanest heart." By the early 1990, Nigeria was passing through one of its darkest times. The country has seen many military rulers, and people were tired. They wanted democracy, the right to choose their own leaders. Then came the famous June 12, 1993 election. Winning is Chief MKO Abiola. It was said to be fairness election in Nigeria history, but suddenly the military government led by General Ibrahim Babangida cancelled the election. The whole nation was silent. People were angry. There were protests, chaos, and tears. Nigeria was on fire. IBB wanted to step down, but he didn't want the country to collapse. So he looked for a man that everybody expects, someone calm, peaceful, not a soldier, not a politician. He fought Ernest Shonekan. One hot afternoon in 1993, Ernest was in his office at UAC when his phone rang. Chief Shonekan, "This is a General Babangida," the voice said. He was surprised. "What could the head of state want from him? The country is in trouble. I want you to lead a temporary government to bring peace." At first, Ernest said no. He was not a politician. He was not a politician. He didn't like power struggles. He just wanted peace and progress for his people. But Babangida insisted, saying, "Nigeria needs you now, chief. Only you can the storm." After thinking deeply and talking to his family and elders, Ernest said yes, he didn't know that his years would change his life forever. On August 26 in 1993, Chief Ernest Shonekan became the head of the interim national government (ING) of Nigeria. He was now the leader of Africa's most populous country, but it was not a normal time. Nigeria was boiling with anger. Many people didn't support the interim government because they believed MKO Abiola was the rightful president. Shonekan's job was not easy. He had no army, no political party, and no strong support from the people. But still, he tried. He wanted to bring back hope, peace and democracy. He started by talking to world leaders, telling them that Nigeria will soon return to democratic rule. He invited professionals, businessmen and traditional rulers to help rebuild the nation. He said in one of his speeches, "My dream is to see Nigeria return to the path of the peace and unity. We cannot build our nation without red." But the military was still powerful, and one man was waiting quietly in the shadows: General Sani Abacha. General Sani Abacha was one of the strongest men in the military. He did throughout the interim government. He wanted full control. While Ernest was trying to build peace, Abacha was secretly planning a takeover. Shonekan did see it coming. He was focused on the people, trying to solve fuel shortage, inflation and strikes. They turned into weeks. The pressure grew, the economic was crashing, and protests continued. Some people began to say this government will not last, but Ernest did not give up. He continued praying and working for peace. Even when people insulted him, he stayed calm. He once told his aides, "I didn't take the position for fame or money. I took it because I love this country." Then on November 17, 1993, just 82 days after he became head of state, everything changed. Early that morning, Ernest was in this office when soldiers surrounded the body. General Sani Abacha entered and told him to resign. There was no fight, no gunshot, just silence. Ernest looked Abacha, said something: "If my leaving will bring peace, then let it be so." And just like that, Nigeria only interim civilian leader stepped down. Abacha took over and declared himself head of his state. For Ernest, it was the end of power, but not the end of his story. Many people thought Ernest would run away or hide, but he didn't. He returned to private life quietly, just as he had left. He founded the Nigeria Economic Summit Group (NESG), a group that brought together business and government leaders to discuss how to improve Nigeria's economy. He also advised future presidents, always with peace and humility. He never insulted anyone, never fought for fame. He just wanted Nigeria to be better. People began to call him the silent hero. Ernest Shonekan was a man of deep faith. He loved God and his family. He was married to Margaret Shonekan and they had beautiful children together. Every Sunday, he was always seen in church, singing and quietly smiling. He believed that a leader should first serve God before leading men. He once told a young journalist, "A nation that forgets honesty and faith will lose everything." Even after leaving power, he kept helping people, building schools, supporting churches, and encouraging peace. In his old age, Ernest became even quieter. He no longer appeared often in public, but when he spoke, his word was full of wisdom. He continued to pray for Nigeria. He always believed that that country could rise again. Then on January 11, 2022, Chief Ernest Shonekan passed away peacefully in Lagos at the age of 85. When the news broke, many Nigerian cried. Even though he ruled for only 22 years, his name entered history forever. He was a man who stood between chaos and peace, a bridge between and democracy. Ernest Shonekan's story teaches us that you don't need to shout to be great, you don't need to fight to be powerful, you just need to be honest, peaceful, and faithful. He showed that leadership is not about how long you rule, but how will you serve. He once said, "History may forget my time in power, but I hope it remembers my love for Nigeria." And yes, history did remember him as the forgotten president who brought calm in a time of chaos. If Ernest Shonekan could speak to young Nigeria today, he would say, "My children, love your country, work hard, tell the truth, and when your time comes to lead with peace." His story reminds us that even the quietest person can make a loud difference. That even if you rule for a short time, your heart can rule forever.